Hi everyone, welcome back. Now Neal has gone to bed, so we will continue this about creating the Backroom game. So as promised in the previous episode, this is a competition, like AI versus human. We'll ask ChatGPT to write this game as well and see whether it can do a better job or we can do a better job. So I've done some chatting with the AI. As you can see, firstly I asked it whether you know backrooms. It knows a little bit about it, and I asked about the levels of the backrooms so we can build up some context. Apparently it knows a little bit about the levels. It knows what are the monsters there, all those things. Feel free to pause the video and have a read if you want to know what the details it's returned. And then also I asked it whether it knows about MUD. So looks like it does. So it knows it's a multi-user game, text-based, all those things. And then I asked it whether I can write Python code. Okay, so after a few chats, I start to ask him to do a Backroom the MUD game with Python. Interestingly, it tells you about how to do it and give you the basic example code straight away. Obviously, this code is not going to do much. There's no how to win the game. There's not much information here. It's like a very basic mud style game, but already very impressive. And next, I asked it something more about backrooms. So generate different levels, blah blah blah. So apparently it can do those things. And it kept the context about the mud game. So when it generates the levels, it also using the mud style kind of thing, trying to give us that experience. Now I copy pasted the context from our last episode, the game design we have, the same ones Neal's got in the last episode. So we'll see how this ChatGPT AI will do it for us. So it starts to generate the code. So this time it's a bit long code. It start to use classes, all those constant variables, MFR, player, all those things. Interestingly, it seems like has a limit on the length of the message. So this kind of big chunk of code, it kind of stops at a certain point. But it has the context, so I just tell it to continue. It didn't continue the parts that break, but some lines after. Anyway, so it goes on and on, and it breaks again, as to continue again. After it's got all the code, it will also explain you how the code works. You have those classes, you use a play game, it's a game loop, that's this and that. Very interesting. So because they're still breaking code, I asked it the part that's after whatever that's missing. And then, okay, it will give you the code about that part. And then more missing code, it gives you again the code missing. After all, I have to do a little bit work to put all those things together in our Python file here, backroom.py. As you can see, it has a MFA class, it's player class, it's got a play game function, all those things. Yeah. So that's the first version. When I play it, it works like this. So it's working. It'll ask you to enter your name, let you choose the difficult level, and then it prints out the text about the exits 1, 2, 3, 4. But interestingly, it also gives you the winning exit straight away. So so in each room you can already see which exit you choose can win, which is kind of weird. So, and also there's a winning exit in every room, which is not something we want it to do. So what I've done is ask it more to change the code, say, okay, hide the info about which exit will win, right? So we don't want to know which exit can win, otherwise it's just too dumb. And then it starts to print out all the code again. So again, there are breaking pieces and stuff. You have to ask to continue and try your best to ask more specific which part is missing, and it will give you that missing part. And then finally, you can see the long chat here just to find the missing part of the code. I guess that's a limitation of this stage. If there's a future stable version or paid version, maybe they will make this better, so you can have unlimited kind of response. Now, so after a while, I've put this together. As you can see, it stops print out which room will win, but just let you choose which room to go. But still, it's very easy to win. So the next thing I asked it is to change the code at the win exit. It decided a random name before the game starts. And only when players enter that room exit, they win. It's not going to be an winning exit in each room. Also, I want to depend on difficulties. It can be harder to find the winning exit if you choose hard mode, for example. Again, a lot of breaking code. You have to ask it to continue where it's left and gather the code. Okay, so after that's changed, it starts to hide the exit, and then it's not that easy to win anymore. You have to go through a lot of rooms if you choose a harder difficulty. And if it's easy, then it's super easy to win. The code here looks something like this. Basically, it uses the difficulty to decide the winning exit beforehand. And because it's always keep breaks the response, so ask it whether it can have a project with a proper folder file structure. So maybe I think that way I can just ask for the content of a certain file, then it's not going to be that long, and it gives back like breaking code logics. So interestingly, yeah, it gives a pretty good structure, even including the test folders, document folders, and all those things. And it explains which folder, which file is for what. Very impressive. And so as I see in the test folder, I ask it straight away, can you write a unit test for this file for me? And it does a good job. It considers several scenarios. Player take damage, whether it kills the player or not. Yeah, that's pretty good. So at least maybe in a production environment for your coding, you can ask the robot to do your unit test at least. It's pretty interesting. And then I wanted to add more descriptions based on Backroom theme, because as you can see in the previous examples, it just says this exit leads to another room. It's not Backroom kind of theme. So yeah, it can add some description about the room, but it's not what I wanted. Like each room should have its own description, but I think that's probably the limitation of it anyway. And then I ask for the description of the MFRs as well. So it gives several random MFR description, but that's nowhere near good enough to attract people to play your game. But anyway, okay, so you still have to ask it again. The code is breaking. Can you give me the rest of the code, etc. So after all, that's the final result, I think. So basically, it will at least, give you some description about the Backroom theme, and then you can choose different exits. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Okay, so that's it. Do you think the AI did a good job? Or I think it's pretty good, but I think we can do much better than AI to create this game. Stay tuned for the next episode and see how we do this game to make it more playful. That's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.